The government recently laid out its budget for 2023, and one of the things that caught everyone's attention was this.
Menambah pendapatan boleh guna M40 melalui pengurangan kadar cukai pendapatan individu. Sementara itu, kerajaan akan menaikkan kadar cukai bagi mereka yang berpendapatan tinggi.
So now we're wondering, is the Prime Minister trying to pull a Robin Hood by taking from the rich and giving to the poor? What do these new tax rates actually mean? And will you be affected? Here's the thing. To explain how or whether these tax rates will actually affect you, you first need to understand how tax works in Malaysia. First thing to know is you're only taxed on your chargeable income. So katakan your gaji is 8,000 ringgit a month. But then throughout the year, you paid for a gym membership, you bought new laptops, books, you paid for your parents' medical bills, and then after you tolak all the deductions, you're left with a chargeable income of 6,000 ringgit a month or 72,000 ringgit for the year. So if you're being taxed 72,000 ringgit based on the old tax rate, you're not taxed 21% terus on the whole thing tau. Meaning your salary will be broken into different segments before they're taxed, and this is what those segments look like. So again, for 72,000 ringgit, the first 5,000 ringgit will be taxed at 0%, the next 15,000 at 1%, next 15,000 again at 3%, next 15,000 again at 8%, and then the next 20,000 at 13%, and your final 2,000 ringgit at 21%. So instead of paying 21% of 72,000, which is 15,120 ringgit, you only have to pay 4,820 ringgit instead. Okay, dah faham kan? Settle. Now we're going to explain what the new tax rates mean. According to the announcement, the tax rates for the brackets between 35,000 to 100,000 ringgit will be reduced by 2%, while those between 100,000 to 1 million a year will be increased by 0.5 to 2% more. So again, if your gaji after deductions is 72,000 ringgit a year, the total you have to pay under this new tax rate is 4,080 ringgit, which is 740 ringgit less than the amount you have had to pay previously. In fact, most people will actually be saving money this time round. More specifically, everyone earning below 19,167 ringgit a month or 230,000 ringgit annually will be taxed less compared to before. Again, that's 19,000 ringgit a month. Tu dah manja-manja punya T20 life tau. Not many people make more than 230,000 ringgit a year, and according to the government, nombor tu tak sampai 150,000 orang pun. But so, does that mean the government is not actually pulling a Robin Hood? Is taxing the rich just fake news? We spoke to Han Liu, the founder and director of Jernexu, to ask him about this.
Rich is a very kind of subjective statement. It's certainly very close to tax the 1%. So you think about it, 150,000 people is 1% of the roughly 15 million people working in Malaysia. Very specifically, the government's targeted what we'd like to call, I guess in Malaysia, the T1s. They are the 1%. So the most accurate thing to say, the government is taxing the 1%.
On which note, a lot of people were also left wondering, if the number of people we're taxing more is so small anyway, why didn't the government just tax them more? Why just 2%? Why not 3 or 4 or 5%?
Because we don't want to shock the system. In general, tax policy is meant to be measured, meant to be consistent, meant to be directional. It means you go in that direction and you take steps towards that direction. You don't just jump. Jumping, in terms of the kind of metaphorical jump, really impacts decision making at not just the domestic level, but at the international level. You're thinking, companies investing in Malaysia, people looking to move to Malaysia for tax reasons, that kind of thing. You want to boil the frog slowly, as it were.
So what does it mean to boil the frog slowly? Well, according to calculations, those earning 20,000 ringgit a month or 240,000 ringgit a year will see a grand total increase of just 100 ringgit in taxes for the whole year. Besides the income tax revisions, the government is also going after the rich by introducing a luxury goods tax and by looking into a wealth tax like the capital gains tax macam our neighbours in Vietnam and Thailand ada. But if you're still wondering how you should feel about this budget, here's what Han has to say.
I think as a layperson, the three questions you should ask is, number one, if I'm in I'm not in that 1%, right? I'm everybody else. Am I better off? The easy answer is yes, right? Second thing to ask is the country better off? Am I being made better off at the expense of the overall country? Because that's not good for everyone, right? So the things to look at are things like, is our budget deficit going down? Are we spending too much as a country versus our income? And if the deficit is going down, which it seems that it is, that's a good thing. That's going to give everybody confidence that, hey, as a country, we know how to manage our money. And third, I think the age-old question everyone should be asking is, the money that we're spending, is it being used correctly? Is it being used wisely? I think the thing to focus on is, and we need to tie or rather pin our government to this, is they've said, spending this year and in coming years going to be open tender. There's not going to be direct procurements, stuff like that. As a people, we need to just make sure it happens. For us, the rakyat, watch them.
So apa korang rasa? Will most people be happy about these new tax rates? Or will this be a stumbling block for them? Let us know.